Culinary arts is a very expressive art form. You can see it, you can smell it, and of course you can taste it. My name is Jessica Griffith, and I'm a chef. If you're like me, I love food and anything to do with it. I'm going to give you a brief history of culinary arts, what some of the current trends are, and who the current trendsetters are in the industry. Most people believe fine cuisine to be French cuisine. That's not true. It actually started in Italy. Catherine de' Medici of Italy was married to Henry II of France. And when she moved to France, she brought with her Italian chefs. The French just perfected what the Italians had already started. There are a few French chefs who are instrumental in evolving culinary arts into what we know it as today. One of those chefs was Chef Carré. He was responsible for something known as grand cuisine. It was very strict and very over the top. Sometimes the meals would consist of 30 intricate courses, but it was the first time that there was structure and organization in the kitchen. Chef Escoffier took Chef Carré's ideas and just simplified them into something known as classic cuisine. Chef Escoffier's classic cuisine is what most people think of as classic French food. A couple other chefs that were instrumental were Chef Gerard and Verde. They were responsible for creating the Nouveau cuisine, which emerged in the early 1970s. They had the idea of using seasonal local ingredients, having shorter cooking times, and having innovative combinations of food. We brought the trend to America, and it's known as New American cuisine. It was primarily seen in the 1970s in the West Coast in California. California has spread that trend through the United States, and it's one of the biggest trends in 2007. Something known as eco-cuisine. Eco-cuisine is eating local and seasonal, buying from your local farmer's market, and using products that you can get within about 100 miles of where you live. One of the other big trends in the restaurant industry is something they're calling modular menus. Chefs are preparing small portions of different types of cuisine and pairing them together for the customer, or the customers pairing different types together for themselves. Creating a new, unique experience. Another trend has been in putting in wood-fired ovens and not using them for pizza anymore. Finding new, different ways to put to use an old tool. Another big trend that's been going on at least for the past 30 years has been fusion cuisine. It's still booming. Fusion cuisine is where you take regional and national ingredients and you mix them together. Some examples would be taking Southern food and mixing it with Greek, or taking Mexican and mixing it with Chinese, creating an amazing experience every time you dine. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. And some examples of a trendsetter in the culinary industry have been the Audrey brothers, Ferran and Albert. Ferran is on the savory side of the kitchen. Albert is the pastry chef. They own a restaurant called El Bulli in a coastal town in Spain. The restaurant's open 6 months out of the year. It's the #1 restaurant in the world and the hardest reservation to get. The day that they begin taking reservations is the day they become booked. Some people say it's taken them at least 5 years to get a reservation. The brothers spend the other 6 months of the year in their workshop or their test kitchen in Spain, in Barcelona. They work with a chemist and a design engineer, creating new techniques and different ways to present the food. The brothers have also taken all the notes from their test kitchen and assembled really amazing cookbooks that are actually more like an art book and cost me upwards of $400. Some of the trends that the brothers are responsible for are foams, which have become huge in the United States, and adding savory with sweet and sweet with savory. The brothers have new things to amaze us with all the time. I can't wait to see what's next. Now, of course, these things are just general trends. Some are going to stick and some aren't. I like to try them out. Can't hurt. Some chefs choose to stick with their classic techniques and even their national ethnic foods. That's all right too. I have a love of culinary arts that is so huge. I love the accomplishment of creating a masterpiece for someone and seeing them enjoy the artwork that I've created, seeing the pleasing to the eye, and to the taste and to the palate. I hope that you've learned something new about culinary arts and or your food.